Angel Reese has been in the spotlight ever since her explosive performance at LSU catapulted her into basketball fame. Known for her confidence, big plays, and even bigger personality, Reese isn't shy about speaking her mind or backing up her bold talk on the court. But when you mix that kind of intensity with the unrelenting spotlight of social media, things can sometimes go off script. It all started when Reese found herself at the center of controversy, after a game that would make headlines for reasons beyond just the score. But before we proceed further, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. It was during the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship that things really heated up between Reese and Caitlin Clark. Clark, another rising star in women's basketball, had been the talk of the season with her seemingly effortless long-range shooting and court vision that left defenders flat-footed. As two of the most electrifying players in the game, the showdown between Reese's LSU and Clark's Iowa was hyped to be a battle of titans. When LSU took home the title, Reese made waves with her taunting gestures directed toward Clark, mimicking John Cena's iconic "You Can't See Me" move, a gesture that Clark herself had used during the tournament. It was a moment that sparked debate across the basketball world as fans, analysts, and even casual viewers weighed in on whether Reese's actions were all in the spirit of competition or if she had crossed a line. The media frenzy that followed only escalated when experts criticized Reese, calling her behavior unsportsmanlike and immature. However, Reese wasn't about to stay quiet, and in true Angel fashion, she fired back at her critics. In interviews and on social media, she made it clear that she was unapologetic for how she played or how she celebrated. "I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year. But when other people do it, no one say nothing," she said, addressing the double standard that many felt was at play. Her response struck a chord with fans who saw her as a young woman standing up for herself in a sport that often holds women, especially black women, to different standards than their male counterparts. Reese's confidence and refusal to back down resonated with a generation that values authenticity over political correctness. But it wasn't just Reese who captured the attention of the sports world. Caitlin Clark, despite being on the other side of the court, found herself caught in the whirlwind of reactions too. Clark, known for her calm demeanor on the floor, didn't take the bait. When asked about Reese's actions after the game, Clark shrugged it off, stating that trash talk was just part of the game and didn't bother her in the slightest. It was a surprisingly mature response from the young star, who had every reason to feel the sting of the loss more than any on-court antics. Clark's reaction, or lack thereof, earned her praise from many corners, with some calling her the next face of women's basketball. Her performance throughout the season, particularly in the tournament, had already drawn comparisons to some of the greats of the game. Yet, Clark's ability to stay grounded and focused, even amidst the chaos, was what truly set her apart. If there was any doubt about her potential, it was erased when she declared for the WNBA draft, stunning fans and experts alike with her decision to enter the league sooner than many had expected. The WNBA has been patiently waiting for a star like Clark. Women's basketball has grown significantly in recent years, but the league is still searching for that one transcendent player who can bring the game to new heights. Clark, with her deep shooting range, court awareness, and cool under pressure, could be that player. Her entry into the WNBA had fans buzzing, and many believed she was poised to change the trajectory of the league. But of course, stepping into the professional world comes with its own set of challenges. As Reese's star continued to rise, her response to critics became more than just a moment in sports. It became a conversation starter about the ways in which athletes, particularly women of color, are policed for their behavior. While some praised her for her unapologetic attitude, others doubled down on their criticism. But the thing about Angel Reese is that she doesn't need everyone's approval. She thrives on the energy, whether it's positive or negative. It's part of what makes her such a compelling figure on the court. Her confidence isn't just for show, it's backed up by her game. Standing at 6'3", Reese dominates the paint with a mix of power and finesse, making her one of the toughest matchups in college basketball. She's not just about brute strength, though. Her basketball IQ and ability to read the game make her a standout talent. But beyond the physical and technical aspects of her game, it's her mental toughness that sets her apart. The way she handles pressure, whether from opponents or the media, shows a maturity beyond her years. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark was preparing for her next chapter. After her stellar college career, where she broke records and left jaws on the floor with her deep threes, it was time to take on the pros. Clark's arrival in the WNBA wasn't just about her basketball skills, though. It was about the spotlight she would bring with her. The league, which has long been looking for ways to grow its audience and attract new fans, suddenly found itself with a potential superstar who could bring more attention to women's sports than ever before. Clark's style of play, much like Reese's, is what draws people in. She has that unteachable knack for taking over games, pulling up from 30 feet as if it's the easiest thing in the world, and making impossible passes look routine. But what really sets Clark apart is her mindset. She plays with a chip on her shoulder, always looking like she's got something to prove, but without the need to broadcast it. She lets her game do the talking, and in a world where athletes are often defined as much by their off-court personas as their on-court performances, that quiet confidence makes her a refreshing anomaly. Of course, not everyone was ready to crown Clark the savior of the WNBA just yet. There were plenty of skeptics who wondered if her game would translate to the professional level. College basketball is one thing, but the WNBA is a different beast. The defenders are bigger, faster, and stronger, and the pace of the game is relentless. Clark would have to adjust and quickly. But if her college career taught us anything, it's that doubting her only adds fuel to her fire. As Clark and Reese move forward in their careers, the rivalry between them is something that fans will be keeping a close eye on. The dynamic between the two is fascinating, not just because of their contrasting styles, but because of the way they represent different aspects of the game. Reese's physicality and passion versus Clark's precision and poise. It's the kind of rivalry that could define women's basketball for years to come. But what makes this all the more intriguing is the way both women have handled the attention. Reese, never one to shy away from the spotlight, embraces it with open arms, using it as a platform to express herself and push back against the critics. Clark, on the other hand, is more reserved, letting her game speak louder than her words. In a way, they are perfect foils for each other, each representing a different side of what it means to be a star in today's sports landscape. Reese's fiery response to the backlash she received following the championship game was as much about defending herself as it was about making a statement for future athletes. She wasn't just playing for herself, she was playing for all the young women who look up to her, who see her confidence and determination, and think, if she can do it, so can I. And in that sense, she's more than just a basketball player. She's a role model, whether she likes it or not. Clark, meanwhile, continues to quietly go about her business, preparing for her debut in the WNBA and the inevitable comparisons that will come with it. Will she be the next big thing? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure. Both she and Reese are already leaving their mark on the game in ways that go beyond points and rebounds. As the dust settles on their college careers and the two stars prepare for what comes next, it's clear that the future of women's basketball is in good hands. Whether it's Reese dominating the paint or Clark hitting another deep three, fans can expect plenty more fireworks in the years to come. And while the debate over sportsmanship and trash talk will probably never go away, one thing is certain. Reese and Clark are both rewriting the rules, and the game will be better for it. What makes this whole saga fascinating is the contrast between how each player responds to pressure. Reese embraces the chaos, feeding off the attention, good or bad, while Clark remains almost stoic, seemingly unfazed by the noise around her. It's a dynamic that not only makes for great theater but also speaks to the different ways athletes handle the spotlight. Reese and Clark are two sides of the same coin, fierce competitors who demand attention, but in completely different ways. So while Reese was making headlines for her fiery response to critics, Clark was quietly preparing to shock the WNBA. And as much as they are rivals on the court, their paths are intertwined. They represent a new era of women's basketball, one where the players have just as much personality as they do skill, where they're not afraid to speak their minds or let their emotions show. In a way, they're redefining what it means to be a star, not just in women's basketball, but in sports as a whole. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. We thrive on your feedback, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, keep discovering and stay tuned.